Each decade, the U.S. government conducts a count of everyone living in the country in an effort to accurately allocate more than $675 billion in federal funding. This count is called the U.S. Census, and it's coming to each household nationwide this March. The Census Survey has taken place every 10 years since 1790. Yet, each decade, millions of people are missed, especially from communities of color. In effect, many of these towns do not get enough funding to put into schools, public works, Medicare, and other services. Victoria Glazier is the chief of the Statistics in Schools program with the U.S. 2020 Census Bureau and has worked with the census since 1990. She says that this year's survey includes a few big changes that aim to make it easier for people to participate.
It will be the first one that is available online. So households will get information beginning in March, and they'll be able to use their phone or whatever the means they want to go online to fill out the census.
This is the first time in history that the census will be available to fill out online through a desktop, laptop, tablet, or smartphone. Glazier says that making the census more accessible is just one of the ways the Bureau is aiming to count every single person in the U.S. Glazier heads the Statistics in Schools program, which focuses on educating kids and teens K through 12 about the benefits of the census. The hope is to educate kids at an earlier age about the census, as well as encourage students to spread the word to their families.
A lot of times it's left to that high school government civics or history class, and they don't always get it in the earlier years, and that is definitely one of our missions, because we really want teachers to teach with our data for all subjects all the time. It's just really important to use the real data. So if you're in third grade, we know you learn about your state. So we've put together something called State Facts for Students, and it's really kid-friendly data. Like you can go learn, like in my state, how many 8-year-olds are there, or how many dentist offices or amusement parks in my state, and you can look at it over history and just another way of using data to look at your state.
And the data gathered from the census doesn't just apply to history or mathematics, but can be integrated into English curriculums at all levels as well.
Another thing, which is a favorite activity of mine, is for English class. We know that teachers teach To Kill a Mockingbird, so you can use our data to say, hey, what was happening as a setting in that book? And one more is we have an infographic that's used for English classes, so we're really just trying to get the point out. It's just not high school government. It's just not statistics class, like any subject, any level. But in this particular English infographic, we show last names in 1990, 2000, and 2010. And you don't think much about it, but when you're looking at it, you're like, okay, I see in 1990 there's a lot of Jones and Smith and Johnson, but you really see a shift in 2000 and 2010 with the top last names of people that live in this country. And just seeing it like that really opens up how the diversity in our country is changing.
The Statistics in Schools program is not a mandated part of the curriculum, but instead aims to be a supplemental resource filled with online activities, games, and other resources for teachers to use to help illustrate the survey's significance and boost overall interest.
We've researched what teachers are teaching, and our whole goal is, if you are teaching about your state, use this resource. If you are teaching about voting or millennials or families, use this resource.
The Statistics in Schools program also provides students with a letter written in 13 different languages to take home to their families, explaining the census and how to take part. Glazier says she routinely works with schools and administrators and is sometimes surprised by adults' lack of overall knowledge around the survey.
We worked with a group of teachers to create the materials that we have, and a lot of them came back that they actually were not aware of the funding that is associated with the census. So $675 billion are distributed every year based on those census numbers, which is why it's so important to count to fill out that form. So everything from school lunch programs to technology to where they're going to locate schools, all of that is based on people answering their census and us knowing that you're out there. So the funding is distributed on that, and they were not aware. So it's one of the ideas that we try to convey in our materials.
Along with local funding for schools and other public services, the U.S. Census sets the number of political representatives a state has, electoral college votes, and any possible redistricting of voters for years to come. Glazer says all of these factors add up, and even though it may seem small, each person really does count. So, this spring, take time to accurately fill out the census questions online or fill out the physical form by mail.
We guarantee that your responses are confidential and protected by law. And this is just one of the ways. There will be a lot of other education efforts that you'll see over the next few months, just reassuring people that it's safe and easy.
More so, if you're looking to get involved and earn some extra money this year, the U.S. Census Bureau is still actively looking to fill hundreds of thousands of temporary positions. Many of these positions are for employees that will knock on doors and interview people in person who don't fill out the census survey by mail or online by late spring. Hourly rates for these roles range from $13 to $30 based on the area. To find out more about the 2020 census and any job openings in your community, visit 2020census.gov. To learn more about the Statistics in Schools program and our guest, Victoria Glazer, visit viewpointsradio.org. For more behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram and Twitter @ViewpointsRadio, and subscribe and listen to our show anytime wherever you listen to podcasts. This segment is written and produced by Amira Zaveri. I'm Gary Price.
2019 was a year of important discoveries about Alzheimer's disease and other dementias. Making news this year, researchers learned that Alzheimer's risk genes are different in men and women. This could help explain why 2/3 of people living with Alzheimer's are women. Other studies in 2019 found that vision and hearing loss may increase dementia risk, especially when both sensory impairments are present. There are also new discoveries about lifestyle, according to Dr. Keith Fargo, Director of Scientific Programs and Outreach at the Alzheimer's Association.
A healthy diet and regular exercise are good for your overall physical health, but researchers have also found that they can reduce your risk for cognitive decline and dementia. These healthy habits, along with things like cognitive stimulation, may even help people who are at high risk due to their genes.
Researchers say a simple blood test to detect Alzheimer's earlier is on the horizon. And 2 recent announcements have increased hope for new Alzheimer's drug treatments. To learn more about Alzheimer's research and how you can participate, visit alz.org.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you can donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-835-1478. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now. Call 1-800-835-1478. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher for donating. Call now, 1-800-835-1478. That's 1-800-835-1478.
And that's Viewpoints for this week. Viewpoints is a production of MediaTrax Communications. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to learn more about upcoming shows. And find a library of past programs on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. Plus, you'll always find previous segments and more information about our guests at viewpointsradio.org. Join us again next week for another edition of Viewpoints.